it's all over the world. It is mainly it's conducting activities like empowering the rural community through education and communication. And these activities are given by public sector for a long period of time. But the trend has been changed, where it's having from its main public system to the it changed to the pluralistic system with public and private advisory services, and from having national coverage by the public sector to its multiple advisory services with thematic and geographic focus, and from focus only on the its agriculture development to it changed to extended mandate for agriculture and rural development, and from having its hierarchical lines of commands to it changed for to it enhances horizontal collaboration and multidisciplinary teams. So it's here we can clearly see that there has been change in the content of delivery and mode, which says that the extension is undergoing more scientific revolution. So the extension professionals, it's who are working in the it's agriculture extension field, it has to modify and adjust to the system, like to work in properly and to deliver the services properly to the farming community. This reflections is from practice is an important type of learning, which helps it's everyone to draw lessons and use these for continuous improvement. It's for his ways of thinking. So which helps in improving the critical thinking and empowerment, and also like self-awareness will be created, and also it will go for the like personal and professional growth will be created. So the extension persons, it has to know what are the present and also past extension approaches and model if you want to work in the farming community. So with this background, if my seminar has been conceptualized with these following objectives, it's to review the various extension approaches and models, and to understand the need for its newer models and theory for changing scenario, and to review some of the related research studies. First, coming to the model. Model is a three-dimensional representation of a person or a thing. It's sort of proposed structure, like typically on a smaller scale than the original, or it is a thing. It's used as an example, like to follow, God imitate. Generally, extension models are shows it's how the program is like structured and organized. And these agriculture extension models can be classified into various steps based on the source of funding and target and, approach. Where on base of the source of funding, it has been classified into private extension, which has been provided by like ministries and Department of Agriculture, and whereas private extension has been provided by private extension agents and some of the companies, and non-profit sector means like some of the non-governmental organization and some of the commodity groups, whereas cost sharing is the like partnership between the different clients and also stakeholders. There has been a study conducted with Amir Ahmad, which is on perception of farmers towards public, private, and corporate extension systems in Karnataka state. Where this study reveals that the like most of the farmers are showing like least favorable and favorable like perception towards the public extension system, like whereas like private extension system they are showing favorable and most favorable like perception. So the reason quoted in this paper is that like most of the like public extension systems are like supply driven than demand driven, whereas private extension systems are more of market driven, and also they are like paying more wages to the farmers, so that like farmers are seeing like more perception toward the private extension systems. So from this study, it was clearly understood that like farmers are showing more positive effect towards the like private extension system like compared to the public extension system. And so according to like the targeted audience, the agriculture extension models have been classified into individual extension, where the extension workers interact like on one-on-one basis with the farmers, uh, and group extension, like focusing mainly on the specific communities, and also mass extension, where it will reach a number of farmers at a time, like through like print media or otherwise some of the mass medias. So here, if you want to create any awareness, it's among the farmers, like we have to go for the like mass extension methods. Uh, if you want to bring the change in his behavior or attitude, we have to go for the individual extension methods. Next, approach. Extension approach is defined as the style of action. It's embodying the philosophy of an extension system, which by and large determines the direction nature or style of the various aspects of the system, such as its structure and leadership, and also program methods and techniques and resources and linkage, which has been given by Axin in 1988. It consists of series of procedures for planning, for organizing and managing the extension institutions, and also for implementing the practical extension work by the staff. And various scientists, it has been classified this extension, its approaches into various categories. First, the classification given by Rivera in 1988, where he has classified these extension approaches into the system approaches, where he has classified them into like top-down and participatory approaches and contract forming systems, and rural development systems. Wherein top-down approaches, it have relationship with the farmers, is take it or leave it. Means if the farmer want the information, like he will take the information. If he feels it's not having it's any benefit, like he will leave it. Whereas in participatory approaches, like take it got demanded. It's as farmers are involving as a like in like participated in decision making, so they will demand for the information. Whereas in contract forming system, it is take it or else. Because farmers are in contract with the stakeholders, so they have to follow the information. If not, they will lose the contract. Last is rural development, means take it or turn away, same as top drone, where the farmers will take the benefits from the development programs. It's or else they will not take the benefits. Next is the classification given by Axin in 1988, where he has divided the extension approaches into a general agriculture extension approach, where it is to improve the production and productivity of the farming system, and commodity specialized approach. It mainly deals with focusing on some of the commercial products like tea, coffee, like that. And whereas training and visit approach also, it is mainly to disseminate the technology to the farmers by improving the contact between the extension staff and the farmers. Whereas participatory approach means it involves the farmers in the program planning and implementation. And project approach is, suppose if any calamities are happen, at that time the project approach is like taken place like for a short period of time of 5 or 10 years. Like farming system development approaches, when the farmers are present at the different farming systems, so the researchers will find the technologies like suitable for that farming system in this approach. And cost sharing approaches, it is for knowing the like optimum use of the resources by various stakeholders at the system. And whereas education institution approaches like followed by academic institutions, like that. Next is the classification given by Pacific Community in 2005, where they has classified these extension approaches into like push based approaches, pull based approaches, and innovation based approaches. Where pull based like push based approaches are like from the researchers. These researchers, it's identified it's how production could be improved. So like they will develop technologies and give to the farmers. Here the extension agent act as the information provider. And the main limitation, it's obvious, like approaches, it only assume the relevance of technology to farmers, can ignore the some of the barriers facing by the farmers. Whereas pull-based approaches are based on the farmer needs, where the extension agent act as facilitator. Here the main limitation is it's not effective because farmers have insufficient power to challenge unless there has been any collaboration with some other stakeholders. And next is the innovation-based approach, where it takes farmers, trainers, markets, researchers, it's all into account and develop the technologies. Here the extension agent act as the enterprise broker and convener. Here the main limitation is of this model is it's often focused on the early adopters and fails to address the expectations of past recipients. It's all these approaches, like we can go for innovation based approaches if the approach also consider the great majorities and also laggards. And there was a study conducted by Gemini UAS, which is modernizing extension advisory services, where they have taken the approaches following in developing countries, and has found that like most of the approaches are given for like technical assistance and value chain development, and they are neglecting the humanitarian relief. Means we have to make the people first out of the poverty, and then we can give the some of the technical assistance without giving proper the technologies for the farmers to make them come out of the poverty. Just giving technical assistance and value chain development is not going to work. Then agricultural extension models. So we all know some of the models like innovation diffusion models and some of the communication models and management models. But in this seminar, I'm going to restrict to extension education models and transfer of technology models for extension service and extension program planning models which deal with extension work. First, coming to the extension education models. We all know this D model of instructional design, which consists of analysis and development, design, implementation, and evaluation. And also, we all know Cope's learning experiential model, which starts with concrete experience and reflective observation, active experimentation, and offset constellation. But now, I'm going to do some of the models which we don't know. First is it's only a model of extension education. This model was developed by Scott in 2006, where they focus primarily it's on providing like overall background and knowledge necessary for the successful future in the extension related courses, where they had it's identified some of the core competencies required by the extension professionals. They are like it's about 10 competencies like extension knowledge, technology and communications, applied research, and diversity and pluralism and risk management. So based on this like core competencies, they are going to develop the coursework. It's according to these competencies. Later, this coursework is going to make them prepare for the different extension positions. And there has been study conducted by its Amy Hodder in 2009. It's an assessment of extension education communication at Langone universities, where this study has taken the like competencies shown in the previous model and has worked out that most of the extension courses are providing the like competencies like extension knowledge and theories of human development, but that not providing it's any competence regarding to risk management. So by knowing this model, we can know what are the like competencies we need to provide for the students. It's for future. Next model is MMSA GEC extension model, which is memorial. It's middle school, so middle school agriculture extension and education center. So this model was developed by like Peter and Brenda, where it provides the youth engagement in the agriculture mainly through project-based approach, where the project ran from 2010 to 2015, and more than like 10,000 youth has been benefited from this model. Where this model consisting of content and context engagement components, where content it takes place through science, technology, and engineering and mathematics aspect, and context is given for agriculture and natural resources, some of the situations in the community, and student engagement is done through classroom settings and labs and greenhouses and some of the campus landscapes. So by combining it's all these components, so they are providing the agriculture education to the students. Next model is Anderson online learning model. Here we all know nowadays online learning is gaining momentum. So extension education also can be taught through online mode. Here Anderson has defined this online learning as a subset of distance education, has always been concerned with provision of accesses to education experience, at least more flexible in time and space. It's as campus-based education, where he has said that its effective learning environment should be learning centered and knowledge centered and assessment centered and community centered. So if he has given this model where the clientele means students will have direct access to content, and or otherwise they can directly contact with extension educator, or otherwise they can have communication with this extension educator through paced or collaborative learning. It's all this learners can learn independently where to learning structures developed by this extension educator. So in this way, he has given this model for its effective learning in the its online mode. Next, coming to the transfer of technology models. We all know transfer of technology means transferring some of the technologies developed from one person, it's like organization to like person or some other organizations, where we have so many models. First is top down technology transfer model. This model is having its only one-way communication, where from research to it flows to extension, and from extension to it's flowing to the farmer. So farmers are not having its any old in this model, and whereas feedback model here, research will consider the needs and problems of the farmers. Based on this, the technologies will be developed by the researchers and then taken back to the farmer through extension professionals. Next is modified feedback or technology transfer model. Here, the farmers are grouped into 10 groups. It's according to the farming system. Based on that farming system, the technologies will be developed by the researchers and will be delivered to this farmer. Let's coming to the farmer, back to farmer model, where first it starts with farmer knowledge and problems, where the farmer, scientists, and extensions diagnoses this the common definition of the problem, and then they seek for the solution, like by having interdisciplinary research, and then they will develop the potential solutions, and the solutions will be tested like on form, and then the solutions which are better like fitted to farm conditions or taken to the farmers, and then farmer will evaluate and adopt these technologies like to his farm conditions. Next is farmer first, farmer last model. It is a modification to this farmer to farm back model, where it was proposed by Chambers and Gideon, where this model, same as the farmer back to model, it will consider the needs and like opportunities of the farm families, but it will generate more number of like solution to the farmers. So farmer can take up so many like what are the solution fitted to his condition, so he can diversify his farming system. And it said to the in this model, like they said that the farmer needs to play more active role in active experimentations. Yes, beyond farmer first model. This was developed by Stones and Thompson in 1994, where it points that like in farmer first approach, there is a lack of, so we are not considering socio-political aspects. So this model highlights gender, ethnicity, age, class, and relation. It's how it's important implications for research and extension. So some of the local and non-local people hold many divergence, sometimes like conflicting interest and goals, and they also have its access to vital resources. So we not only we need to consider farmers, like, but also we need to consider some of the like conditions surrounding that farmer. Let's come into the extension model, which is proposed by Nicholson in 2003, where it is for adoption of productive and sustainable practice in its high rainfall grazing areas. Here, in this model, scientists has considered the like motivation, exploration, training, and farm practical changes are the like main key elements for any model to success. Here, like through motivation, a farmer will develop a reason or desire to change, and then like he will take the decisions. It's to get more information. It's about the practice, and then he will go for exploration training stage, and from that, whether it is the like the information or in technology success in this small training stage, so he will take in this like actual form in this model. Next model is given by Kamalpreet and Prabjot, where here the farm families are input providers and agriculture laborers are middle of this model, where the social media and the village panchayat and agri education and cyber net. So we are going to deliver this technologies to the farmers. And ultimate main of this extension approach is like to disseminate these newer technologies to farmers and to convince them to adopt for the better development. And like extension, we are not only having role in just transfer of technology, and we are also working nowadays for sustainability. So this agri-flexion model was developed by SH Forbes in 2006, which states that sustainability of livelihood of the farmers is the its ultimate development. So here they have considered that enabler service provider and farmer will be in a triangle relationship where they will assess the like social, financial, human, and natural and physical assets, and through this they by considering it's all these aspects, like they will through individual and collective learning and also planning, action, research. So they will develop the sustainable livelihood is among the farmers. Next, coming to the extension program planning models, which mainly related to the extension work by the extension professionals, where we all know extension program planning has such benefits like it will give most efficient return on investment of like public funds, and also generate greater efficiency in providing some solutions to the client problems, and also it will allow extension professional a great range of flexibility and adaptability. Where we all know this model, that is extension program planning model of Sandhu. Here the program starts with plan of work, execution of the plan of work, and evaluation of its accomplishment, and planning process and plan program. So this is a cyclic model given by Sandhu. Like let's see some of the like new models. First is contingency based program planning model, where the planner, like who is developing the extension programs, is considered some of the like approaches like based on his or her conditions, like relevant at that time. Where in this model we have directive approaches, non-directive approaches, and collaborative approaches. Where in directive approaches, it will take place when the time and funding is limited and there is urgency for limitation of the program, and the planner will act as a director in this approach. Like whereas in non-directive approach, here learner will develop their own goals, and the planner will act as consultant. And whereas in collaborative approach, like participation of its all stakeholders is considered, and the planner will act as facilitators. It's among these three like models, we can go for collaborative approaches, which involve the like participation of its all stakeholders, and planner can will act as facilitator, and the farmers can learn it's among themselves by some of their experiences, and also by some of the like problem based learning, so he can learn. Next, targeting its outcomes of program model, which is like, developed by Claude Bennett and Care of Well in 1994. Here, this model consisting of like program development and program performance as two components, where it consisting of the some of the components like C conditions, which is social, economical, and environment like conditions, and then he will go for practices, and then CASA, which is knowledge, attitude, skill, and aspirations, and from them it will know the reactions of the participants, and also whether the participants are participating in the programs or not, and then its activities what need to be taken up is to format to practice in such activities when resources required for that activity. So in program development, these its activities are considered, like whereas in program performance, it will consider the resources starting from like resource, and then going for activities, participation, reaction, CASA, and practices. See outcomes. So this program development and program performance are the like mirror images of each other. Next model is Ask Me extension model. This model was popular in its Afghan extension policy, where it will consider the first its audience needs, and then go for solution, and then for the solutions will be developed into key message or technology, and then they will be given to the it's a message form and delivery, and then it will go for evaluation. So at each stage also they are going for evaluation. It's for more specific giving technologies to the farmers. This cooperative extension program development model, where in this model we have like planning, design, and implementation and evaluation. Extension professional it has to consider some personal interest and also expertise. It's from planning to design and implementation stage, and from design implementation and also evaluation, it's he has to consider the needs of the community and society, and from the evaluation to planning, it's he has to consider the like organizational context. So in cooperative extension program model, extension person is it has to consider it's all this its activities is in mind, when going to conduct the program. This model was given by Nancy et al. In 2015, and this is a study conducted by Chandan Kumar in changing agricultural extension models in Pacific island countries, where in their studies they has revealed that there has been change in the extension models, like from traditional agriculture model to where government, farmer organization, and farmers are in collaboration and giving service to the farmers, but private institutions are like separately giving the technology to the farmers, like without consulting this government and farmer organizations. Let's come into what are the extension models in India. So we have so many successful extension models in India. By like public extension model, if we take like Atma model, we all know like Atma model, which is for the decentralized decision making like to the district level, and to increase the farmer input into program planning, and to increase the program coordination and integration. Where this is the Atma model, which consisting of governing body, Atma management committee, and from there we deliver the services to the farmer interest group and self-help groups. And here the fund flow is through the top down, but whereas work plan is bottom up approach. And there was a study conducted by KMC et al. That is Agriculture Technology Management Agency, a study of its impact in like pilot districts in Bihar, where the study showed that it's after like conducting its Atma model, there has been there has been change increase in farmers like visiting the extension officers and scientists like compared with project districts and with non-project districts, where here we can observe that like 18.44% of change is observed in farmers like visiting village extension workers, but whereas in non-project districts only 5.31% of change is observed. Let's come into one of the company model, which is Apache is integrated cotton cultivation model, where it is a company which is Jimmy and trading house from Pollachi, where it has encouraged the farmers like to grow or sow cotton. I mean, this model was taken up in 2002, where about like 950 acres of land in various blocks of Coimbatore, Theni, and Namakkal of Tamil Nadu were contracted. It's including involving 900 farmers, where during this season, the contracted for farmer service witnessed the 25% of reduction in cost of cultivation. And the main principle followed in this model is that they has considered one village, one group, and also they has considered one village, it's one variety or hybrid of cotton seeds, and they has given crop load at 12% of annum and groups guarantee, and also cotton crop insurance, and also contamination control measures from farm to factory have taken place, and also it's assured buyback to final produce like from farmer doorsteps has taken place in this model. So these principles it has led to the successful of this Apache model. Next, we all know cooperative model, which is Hamul model, where village dairy cooperatives are present, where they will collect the milk from the member producers, and then the procurement and processing and marketing will be done to these cooperatives. And in then, member producers will get some of the information regarding the cattle field and also vet services and also some of the schemes. And like a survey was conducted by Ruchira Prasad and Rupali, where they have found that the like survey indicates that 80% of the employees report that the like operation efficiency is the it's outcome of this dynamic organization structure of AMIL. Next, this is one of the 30C model, which is e-chopper, like taken by 30C, where the e-chopper or Sanchalak will be present, where you will take the some of the information from the input retailers and also some of the companies and departments and give this technology to the farmers. In turn, they also act as the intermediaries between the farmer and the processors. So it's I had explained about so many models, but how to select a model? And the solution is if there is complexity of the situations and there is increasing level of people skills, like we have to go for like human development models. If there is technical know-how is less and also it having less complexity of situations, like we have to go for transfer technology models. But like no one strategy or model is usually sufficient, but there should be combination of models if it has to be success. Next, what is the need for renewable models and theories? But this is like article which was written by like K. Dwarkinath in 2009, which is reformulating the agriculture action system, where he has given some of the reasons like the purpose in farming is changing because farmer is changing from subsistence farming to the, so it is more going to the enterprise or ventures, and all of urban demands and changing lifestyles increasing, and also it's creating more pressure on the rural based land resources, and also the literacy levels are rising, and exposure to urban life is deeply impacting the rural lifestyles, and also the concept of action is also changing from mainly giving the technology to like improving the livelihoods of the farmers, and there has been technology push is justifying, but the extension push is missing. Uh, so these are the reasons quoted by this Garginath. It's coming to the Dr. Garan Prasad, like he has argued that there is a need to look at the concept of extension education, like being preached and practiced today. When he has defined this concept as reverse extension, where he has argued that like reverse extension offers one way of reinventing its future. Where like he gave that like we need newer models because like extension system is lacking in some of the categorical social organization and managerial situation dimensions. When coming to categorical dimensions, though extension is providing various like technologies and going through so many researchers, still it remains related from like various stakeholders, and there are even instances where the need of the extension service is without it by the end users or farmers. And also social coordination dimension, the support for public extension accountability is declining, and the efficiency of this public extension services is it's often questioned by the farmers. And coming to managerial, there has been inefficiency of extension system in India, which is like often attributed to the poor governance of the extension service. So it is facing so many demographic and management and professional and technological challenges. Let's come to the situation dimension. So there has been changing scenario of development for sustainability. So by considering, like he has considered, it's all these dimensions. It's all the reasons. So we need to develop the newer models and theories. And there are also new agri chains are being coming up, which can link small farmers to the its high value markets, and also there has been reduced funding, and political have weakened the public extension system, and there is a evolving definition of extension and advisory services, and there is rising consumer demand, food safety and quality and traceability. It's all these factors are calling for some new extension arrangements and delivery modes and services. So extension needs new theories and framework like to like move forward. Where it requires like beyond diffusion of innovation. Means we have to look over new innovations and use multiple sources of knowledge, and beyond linear process of transfer of technology means you have to link the credit, marketing, and product development. uh, Beyond technological interventions means having the concept of institutional innovations and value chains. Beyond existing institutions and practices, creating former companies, agribusiness incubators. Beyond allocation-based targets and achievements, morely on outcome-based targets and achievements. Beyond networks means having convergence or partnership at several levels. So it's by considering it's all these models and also the condition. I'm proposing a model which is where the farmer will be at the base, where from the farmers they consider the needs and problems of the models. Government, NGOs, and commodity interest groups, basic trainers, and private companies. it has to converge it's among themselves. Means normally government, private companies, NGOs are working independently, but sometimes they're also going for partnership. But it's for developing the farmer. It's all these institutions. It has to work collaboratively, and and they has to provide the solutions by print media, mass media, and social media, and cyber extension, like to the farmers. Or they can also work independently by considering the social, financial, and human and natural dimensions. So in this way, we can develop the farmers and stakeholders. I want to conclude by saying that like farming has become it's highly externalized, and practitioners it has found its new ways like to overcome these problems, and they're going for more its opportunities. But still, extension professionals are still lagging behind, and they're concentrating on its old models and theories. So it's we need to go for the newer models and methods. It's by considering the previous models. Thank you.
Thank you, Kusumalatha. The seminar is open for discussion. I invite the credit level students.
So is there any way, because I know you have said like, so is there any after that anyone wants to consider all these model and because any that model which is include all the dimensions? Is there any model?
Like still there has been it's I had not found a Jenny model, but we has to like I said one of the model for uglification model, like including sustainable concept. So it's each and every model is different to each areas. Means one area they will considering the social economic conditions they are developing. Some area they're concerned by only giving transfer of technologies. So still it's not found any model.
Any queries? In this current scenario, where we have seen a lot of community systems, which model is preferred?
Like which is now present, we are having COVID situation, right? Like now the public sector cannot reach it's all the farmers, it's all the stakeholders. So it's I will consider desi trainers are having more importance at the grassroots level. So I think desi trainers can by including desi trainers we can give some technologies to the farmers.
Any queries, please? Okay.
Yeah, private input dealers is there now at grassroots level. Means who are supplying the fertilizers and pesticides. So we are giving training to them for a period of 6 months or 12 months, something. Uh, through these basic trainers, we can give the solutions. Yes. So, yes. 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 Agriculture. Yes, sir. Every department. But though they are working the farmers, it's one study it's has shown as a perception, it's of public and private sector. Like most of the farmers are going for private action systems only, sir, like compared to public. Means because they are thinking the private people is like we are paying, so they will get 1 point solutions. Yes. But they see trainers. Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir, they're having, sir, but the farmers are going for purchasing of pesticides and fertilizers frequently to the desert trainers now, sir. So it's easy to give some technologies to this the desert trainers, sir. So public is working, sir, and also we also include these desert trainers in the models. It's not ultimate solution, but now desert trainers are more number of there now, sir. So we can use them in the models. The basic trainers are going training no, so we can give them the technologies to the basic trainers and teach them at that level, so they can take up this technologies to the farmers.
What is the, I mean, like, if you're forecasting now, is there any, like, for future, okay, this model might be suitable, and that can, I mean, you have predicted, okay, this might be suitable, okay, to that extent, it won't suitable, but you can suggest, right, this may be,
It has proposed here one model, right? It has considered it's all government NGOs. Means here we are, normally each model is working differently. Means government are working differently, and NGOs and CIGs are working differently. But we should have convergence. It's among it's all the stakeholders that to provide solution to the farmers. Means there should be not multiplicity of technologies. So there should be convergence. In my view, I'm thinking. Yeah. Yes, sir. They are having, sir, but they are working independently, sir. It's not.
Kusumalatha, you left university extension system in your model because it is also playing important role. Many KVKs are there.
Yes,
Our scientists are also directly in contact with farmers. Uh, we have forgotten that one. And only brings the mass media, social media, ICT. Where is the direct contact, going to farmers field, conduct demonstration, individual group contact, mass contact method, direct contact you are missing.
sir.
See,
Independent.
according to your model, there is no physical or contact between extension worker and farmer. They are totally isolated. So you are
Independent.
remotely operating the system according to your new model.
Sir, it has given her here independently they can work now, sir. So independently means going and talking with
See,
them.
you should have taken some good points from earlier models. See, in the end, which system, individual contact method is still good, but maybe there are some problems, lack of staff or time consumption, so many. But still, conceptually, it is good. Principally, it is good. So you have taken one good point from different models, and you should have developed your own model. And they see, of course, it is one component. You don't take it input dealers, that's all. They are input dealers. You don't consider them as a big group. Even
Developed
private,
taking all those principles.
hmm,
You have developed this model, or someone had developed, you are interpreting as
No,
a
sir.
principle.
Myself I have made this.
Kusumalatha model.
So by considering all that, I has proposed.
Considering the all that.
Ah, yes.
So taking the views of the
Ah,
discussion, you are some more.
Even instead of Deshi, even private extension, say there are pomegranate, some high value traps. Now private extension is also going on. No?
Yes, sir.
Paid extension service. That can also be included in your model.
Okay, sir.
It is one of the components, private extension service.
In your model, there is a lot of scope for power before commodity organization, rural organization.
Yes, sir.
There is a lot of scope in your
How do you differentiate the extension system and the extension model?
Sir, extension system consisting of approaches, methods, everything, sir. But extension models will give us the path, sir. Means it's how the program is like organized and structured. So it will give the just path, but extension system consists all other things, sir, like approaches, systems, methods, and techniques, what they're following.
So in which context the model will be used with system?
Like before going for program planning, so they can consider whether this like the program is by making a model, like they can see whether this model will be practical applications is there or not, so they can consider, no, sir.
So then they will revise.
It's like they will go for project approaches, no, sir. Like before going for any programs, they will go for some pilot studies, no, sir. In such case, they can
In the
revise.
presentation of the system is secure, how the extension system has been established and how the extension system after establishment, how the different models have been operating. So you could observe last 100 years the extension system has been employed through the country.
Yes, sir.
But they have adopted different models at different phases. So before independence, some of the models have been applied, and after independence, and even 60s, 70s, the model has been revised. TNE was touched and then the model system was
Yes,
replaced, and RSK model has been implemented. Now this entire more uniform national rate model is coming. And you were supposed to cover which are the components of features, that is highlights of each of the model and successfully. So you have indicated so many models. Whether those models are being implemented in which country is not clear. Whether for the project approach or pilot approach. So we claim that RBS is model developed here. So like that, we have to indicate which are the models developed for the project purpose, which are the models developed for the whole country. And even in the TME model have been spread to different countries also. So what is the reason? What is the common parameters existed in the plan to get spread to different countries? That's what we can cover. And some of the components as well as indicated the PPP model and the control extension model. But those things are not been covered. That's what we have seen that for everything. Just to make concept.
Okay, sir.
So that needs to be. And based upon that, you have indicated oscillate the ICT or the in-person cosmographic channels are taking a lot of scope. And even the social media, they are going to take large coverage in future time, because the government system, the employees have got videos, the coverage has also got videos, and this in turn has taken a farmer-led experience taking place. You can see in WhatsApp or Facebook especially, the farmers are operating on small NGOs. They are providing a platform for the farmers to share, or even they do lectures. Every other day they are giving, and hundreds of farmers are watching in real time, and thousands of farmers are following it. And that is not at all, you can say, we may be technically qualified or competent, but the volume of coverage wise, our universities or even the extension system compared to the Facebook system is very low. So that indicates that it will be taking it further. So how the model will be accommodating the formal election, but some streamlining is required as indicated the basic concept, whether they are competent enough or whether they are updated enough. Similarly, the farmers, the progressive farmers also, we have to put a check. Otherwise, they will be developing their own system and their own followers. Today it may be in lakhs, or it may small into crores also. So in that case, whatever they say, that will become a rallying point. So that has to be checked in the system model, so that there should be some riders or counter checking. So all these things can find a place in the model, so that it will be inclusive of all the parameters, important parameters.
And in the very beginning, one of the definition we have told the model,
Yes.
it is a three-dimensional. In which context you are talking? It is not that model.
Yes.
So you are not talking the three-dimensional model.
Like definition.
No, whatever it may be. In which context you are using that term? That is isn't it? So that is not at all a definition suitable for this seminar.
So I has
That
given
is a
extension
physical
model.
model, physical model. implement three-dimensional. Isn't it?
Like it has given extension model definition also. It's how organized and it's organized.
That is okay. You have first.
Yes, sir, has given. Structure theory.
Any queries from the teachers?
Again, one copy one model.
Like I said, extension approach is starting, like commodity approach, like focusing on specific crops. Like through that approach, we can go for like consulting particular crops. Like I said in Oxin model, right? Starting here, in this approach, it has mentioned commodity specialized approach. So if you want to go for specific crops, so we can follow this approach. Means giving more scientists, like it's important to the scientist and farmers interaction, and going for it's highly specialized, like scientists. So we can go this model, I think. And
So when you are giving such kind of models, you have to tell accent is from which country, because that model will be applicable to that country, that farmer, that social system, that context. And simply you are keep on telling America, England, so many models. Either these models can be applicable to our situation or not.
so we are following TNV participatory. We are all
That,
following.
that we understood. I didn't know what about accent.
For the frontline section or the field level extension system, or which part of which type of clientele is applicable. So then only we can derive that, okay, this model, this portion, we can use it later.
Yes, yes. Who are the target? That is also important.
Teachers, please. Thank you, Kusumalatha.
To start this, finish with it. So you can relax or be outside. Maybe after 20 minutes, take the test. Still, they have to come. Speak. We have to start the video. Yeah, teaching of the video.
For the time being, we'll intimate maybe another 20 minutes.
By another 20 minutes, 20 minutes, we get the test. Maybe 20 minutes, we get the test. ಅವರೇ ಮಾಡೋದು ಸ್ಪೀಕರ್ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇವರೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಬರಲಿ, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇರಲಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆಮಿನಾರ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಲ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದ್ದ ಅದು ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಕೂತಿದೆಯಾ ಅಂತ ಅಟೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು
ಚೈತ್ರ ಇದು ಈ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀರಾ ಚೈತ್ರ? ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಾರೆ ಈ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್. ಪೆನ್ ಡ್ರೈವ್ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಪೆನ್ ಡ್ರೈವ್ ಕೊಡಿ. ವೈಶಾಖ್ ಅಂತ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ ತೆಗೆಯಪ್ಪ ಅಲ್ಲೇ. ತೆಗಿಲಿ ಗ್ಲಾಸ್. ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸರ್, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಪೆನ್ ಡ್ರೈವ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡೋದು. ವೈಶಾ ರೆಡಿ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ.
ಸುರೇಶ್ಗೆ
ಕಾಪಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ರೆಡಿ ಆಗಿದೆ.
ಎರಡು ಕರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹುಟ್ಟಿಸಿ welcome the external examiner.
ಪೆನ್ ಡ್ರೈವ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನೋಡಿ, ನೀವು ಕಾಪಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀರಿ.
Impact of national food security mission on socio-economic status of farmers for selected districts.
ಎರಡು ಡೇಟಾ ಕೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀರಾ? ಏನು ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಬೇಡವಾ? ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ.
So both the required suggestions most of the operations are valid and they have been transported I welcome the HOD also to provide these members are not free to me. We actually say, today's join. Jagir Kar as a poetic also requested to attend the third party. So the alumni of this department, the back 1986. So now we briefly introduce yourself for the examiner and go ahead with the brief methodology introduction and straight away to the results.
Okay. So, myself, Chaitra. I have completed my UG from UAS Dharwad, PG from UAS Shumaka as a JRF student, and PhD here in GKVK in Extension Department. Um, my thesis entitled is Impact of National Food Security Mission on Socio-Economic Status of Farmers of Selected Districts of Karnataka. With a brief introduction, food security is the backbone of every nation's prosperity and well-being, and the health of any nation is directly linked to its food security. But the decline in the growth rate of food grain production was observed from 1986 to 2008, which was contributed by decline in the yield rate and also decline in the area of cultivation. And though half of the Indian population is practicing agriculture, but India is failing to supply enough food grains for its citizens due to increase in its population and also lack of technological interventions adopted by the farmers. These events were clearly impacted and decelerated growth of agriculture was experienced from 3.5% in from 1981 to 1997 to 2% from 1997 to 2005. In order to combat the above,
This report copies
Sir, in order to combat the above challenge of food security and food availability in the country, the government of India has launched a National Food Security Mission in the year 2007-8 at the beginning of 11th five-year plan. It is to escalate production of rice, wheat, and pulse by 10, 8, and 2 million tons by the end of 11th five-year plan. And the twofold strategy adopted by the mission was to increase the area and to bridge the yield gap of the crops. The mission targets to enhance the productivity of crops and to generate employment opportunities through its technological interventions. But recently, presently, NFSM is being implemented across 638 districts of 29 states in the country. Coming to that, the mission has continued in the 12th five-year plan also with a target of 25 million tons of increased food grain production. Core cereals and commercial crops were also included in the purview of the NFSM. Out of the 5 components of NFSM, only 3 components were implemented in Karnataka in a larger scale. They are NFSM rice, NFSM pulse, and NFSM core cereals. And currently, NFSM is being implemented across 30 districts of Karnataka.